All right, 6 feet going deep. It's Torius with.
Eli Hawkins.
All right, Eli. Why don't you tell us about what you do?
Oh man, I produce. I'm an entrepreneur. I write music. I'm an artist. I own. I'm just an overall creative. I like to consider myself the ultimate producer.
The ultimate producer?
Yeah.
Why you say that?
Just because I just don't only produce music and compose like beats, but I also produce events. I produce TV shows. I produce a radio station. Just the overall ultimate producer.
So there's a debate going from like a beat maker to producer. So how do you feel about that?
I like to consider myself a producer because it's one thing to just make a beat. Anybody can make a beat, but when it comes to like producing, you're actually composing the song. You're structuring the song and you bring an idea to life. And I could like to consider myself someone that I like to collab with a bunch of different artists and get different artists that wouldn't even be in the studio together and get them involved and make music together.
So you're like DJ Khaled basically.
Yeah, but I don't. Khaled is Khaled.
Yeah.
Type of shit.
But yeah, like just because a lot of times people are like, what does DJ Khaled even do? And then it's like DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
You look up to him?
I respect Khaled. Definitely coming from Miami. I think what he's been able to do has been phenomenal. Being someone that came out the city and just to see where he's taking it and to see how I grew up like listening to 99 Jam. So it's from listening to him like in elementary school to seeing what he's doing now is crazy. So
did you ever look like at his stories and stuff?
Hell yeah. He had did an interview with Drink Champs, and it just made me want to, go back and watch back all his other interviews. So I definitely do my research,
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So you make music too, right? Like you rap?
Yeah, so like I rap, I write for artists, and then I also produce. But I actually prefer, I love making like my own personal music, but I love creating the sound for like another artist or helping an artist come up with a song. So yeah, that's like really my main thing. Just because I feel like, I like to look at voices like they're instruments. Like if some rapper may have a deeper tone than another rapper, and I just like to use words, like use their voices as instruments.
Mm-hmm. So, when it comes to writing for other people. Are you able to really like capture their essence? Like how Lil Yachty was able to write for like City Girls.
Yeah.
So how does that even work? Like you can tell me.
So like for example, I actually wrote a song for this female artist by the name of Lena Rain, and when it comes to like writing her, it's like I literally had the artist just tell me what they're going through, certain issues that they've been dealing with, and just try to. And when it comes to structuring the song, just embody the whole entire experience they're going through. So like to me, it's like really knowing their story and just trying to relate and try to build that chemistry off of whatever they're going through.
Is it mostly only for rap or for like also like singing?
It's both. Yeah, it's all different genres. I wrote for like rap, like R&B. It's for both.
So when it comes to making your own music, where does your inspiration come from?
Oh man, I really like to consider myself, when it comes to making my own music, as kind of like a Pharrell Williams, just because it's like I'm either producing the music I'm making or I'm co-producing it, and when it comes to the music that I actually make, it's a lot of inspiration comes from a lot of samples. There's a lot of references, and when it comes to my music, it's like I'm trying to really tell a story. I dropped my EP last year, and the whole process of dropping the whole EP, it was kind of structuring it to tell a story, and it was just certain chords that I used that made it kind of feel very welcoming.
Yeah. All right. So when it comes to dropping music, how do you feel like there's what makes you want to drop an EP versus a single versus an album versus a mixtape?
So to me, I think it all depends on when the time is right. Usually I like to drop music or drop a single when I have a lot of traction going on, because like I said, I'm not just an artist, so I also throw events, shows, concerts. So it's whenever I'm really gearing up to doing a show or doing some type of brand partnership or wherever I just have a lot of traction and eyes on me, that's when I would drop a song or drop a track I produced for an artist, or drop a music video I did with an artist. Just so kind of do a little cross promotion.
Do you ever think doing everything kind of spreads you thin?
Oh hell yeah, that shit spreads me hella thin. But that's why like I put good people in position and people in power that I can just trust and that I can hold accountable. Like Liz, you feel me? And just having like my producer partner like Dylan right there. Like we make a lot of beats together. Everybody in my immediate circle, you know, right, I consider like family or just like team, you know, it's a lot of teamwork and unity that goes behind everything that I do, because I'm one of the people that understands that, you know, one person can't do everything themselves. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have people that are good at certain things, and you have to be open to certain ideas and certain suggestions and just collaborating with the people around you, because you can become overwhelmed and get overworked. And I went through like being overwhelmed and being overworked. So I'm just more open to, you know, putting people in positions that I can trust.
So one question, this is a two-part question. How is it easy to trust people, and how do you not let greed overcome allowing other people to work for you?
Where that's a really good question. Damn, I think like, to me, I trust people, but I trust everyone to be themselves. So, you know, obviously, I like when it comes to putting people into position, I really try to look for their character. I try to see, you know, where do their heart lie? Like what, I think a lot of it stems from just having people that you can trust and putting people like, you know, that's in position. Like my manager started off as my stage manager to like my publicist to my business partner, and now, you know, she manages me, and you know, those are like years of like fostering certain relationships. And I think you just got to be willing to like build with people and really try to trust people to, you know, be themselves and give them like little things to just build your trust with. So yeah.
And then the second part was greed. How do you not let greed get in the way of wanting to pay people to do work that you could probably do yourself, but you just don't have like time to, or that you kind of don't really trust them with?
I think, you know, first off, like there's so much money, so much opportunity in the world. And I feel like once you realize that, you know, what's for you is really for you, then, you know, you really, it's like you gotta be aware of people, you know, being greedy or people being shady, but it's like it's like you don't give yourself enough rope to hang yourself with. You ever heard of that saying? Or it's like you never want to give yourself too much rope to like hang yourself. So it's like,
I like the first part you said. I didn't get that part.
Well, the second part is just more so of like I'm saying, like you gotta trust people to be themselves. So it's like I'm only gonna allow someone to have so much control over an opportunity to like even backstab me. Like I just won't put certain people in positions to backstab me, but I'll put certain people in positions to where they can be empowered and, you know, still make certain decisions that puts them in positions to grow and elevate. But I would never, you know, really have someone in a position where they can harm me through greed. You know what I'm saying?
I was referring more towards yourself, as in like, oh, I need someone to do this, let me hire someone. You know, but you could do it yourself.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as, you know, like having a team is always better than just doing stuff yourself. But it's like, because honestly, that's the problem that I have. Like, I want to do like all the same stuff that you're doing. But it's like, when it comes to, I got to like pay someone to do this, it's like I can do it myself. It's kind of greedy, right?
Yeah. I think ultimately it's like you save more time and you can make more money like having somebody do something for you. You know what I'm saying? Having someone to do the task for you. And I think, you know, time is the most expensive commodity. So it's like if you could put someone in position to edit a video while you're doing like 2 other interviews, and due to the fact that you have someone that's editing your videos, now you're able to drop content faster and you're able to do more interviews, and now you're getting more traction and you're getting more like clientele. So it's like, you know, it really all depends on you and how you want to work. Because like to me, I can pay someone to like edit videos or pay someone to be in a position to do something, because it's like I know I have a heavy workload. So like I know I can't do everything. I know I can't do everything by myself because I have like other businesses that I have to tend. And if I'm not tending these other businesses, or, you know, focusing on one thing at a time, it's like I'm losing money somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So it's really all depends on how you think as like an entrepreneur, and if you actually have faith in people to do good work. You know, you gotta find people that can actually do good work. So I think, you know, if you find someone that can do good work, then, you know, you can trust them and they can get it done. And you don't have to be greedy. Did I like answer your question?
No, I get the just what you're saying, but it made me think like what drew you to my interviews to like 6 feet, and also what do you think I could do to like improve it?
Yeah. First off, so like what really drew me to 6 feet, I think, is like just the impact you had within the community. Like I remember when you first was like doing interviews. I remember like the Smoke Perp interview. I remember I threw an event at Madam Winwood, and I think you interviewed X and Chief Pound when we had booked CDB. It was like in Madam Winwood.
Was that Yes Jules' event?
Nah, it was my event in Madam Winwood like a while ago. But that's when like I first found out about you. I think you did an interview with like X and Chief Pound, and you did it like in the green room. So like from there I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, I kind of like started paying attention to more of the videos that you dropped, and just seeing, you know, your impact on the culture. I just thought that was like very important, because in South Florida it's like you got like a lot of rappers, a lot of producers, a lot of people doing a lot of things, but it's rare to see someone actually documenting the culture and making sure that our story is getting told. And that's why I just have, you know, a lot of respect for what you do.
No, I appreciate that.
For it, bro.
I was gonna ask, because you do the same thing, right? Don't you do interviews?
Well, I run a radio station, and it's like a talk show, and, you know, we bring guests. I produce a talk show. Yeah. And my DJ, he interview artists. So in a way, it's definitely the same. And you know, I like the main reason why I made that transition to radio / like podcast is just because for a while, like I remember when I first got my start in the industry, I was working at iHeartRadio, and I was just able to take everything that, you know, I learned interning and apply it to like my own radio station now, and to my own radio show / podcast. So, you know, kind of similar to what you're doing, bro.
I had asked before, like, what would you do to improve like 6 feet, like if you were running?
Oh man.
Other than like getting a studio, because I know
which I could help you with. You know, we got a studio, you know, where we do our we could talk about it, you know, after the interview.
Nah, yeah.
But yeah, like,
because I was literally thinking that on my way. I was like, this is what I need to do.
Bro, we got with the radio station we just set up, we got like 2 podcast rooms, we got a studio room, we got a recording studio too. So we could definitely talk about that. But if I would improve 6 feet, I think I would do like more live interviews at events. Like I remember like when you guys first started off, like it wasn't, I believe you guys were like pulling up to events doing interviews, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. Yeah, like I think you guys should do that more.
I just stopped doing that because of the pandemic.
I know, and I was gonna say the pandemic is over, so yeah, I think it's the perfect time to, you know, bring that back. Also, you know, getting involved with like the tech, like it's like the whole NFT and tech space is like starting to emerge in Miami. So I feel like, you know, if you guys can merge like tech and how a lot of these tech companies are starting to partner up with artists, I think that would be really something dope to document and just, you know, shed light on.
How do you do that for yours? Like, how do you implement that NFTs and other?
So, yeah, you know, besides like making beats, producing, like I also have other businesses like, you know, me and Liz, we have our company, The Hype Firm, which is like a PR agency. And from doing a lot of stuff within the music industry and a lot of behind the scenes work, it led me to getting into, you know, doing PR work. And from PR work, it has led me to doing PR for a lot of tech companies and a lot of artists that are making that transition into mining their music and putting their music on like NFT spaces like OpenSea. So I'm basically kind of like shedding light and bringing press to rap artists that want to, you know, kind of dive into the tech world. So that's how I've been able to fit in alongside of like, you know, also purchasing different NFTs and collaborating with different companies different artists that mine their work on like websites like OpenSea. So, to me, I'm just like shedding light to it and using my resources to basically bring more awareness to like, the tech world down here in Miami.
You think NFTs are just a bubble, or you think that's actually like?
Damn, like, truthfully, bro, I don't know. I don't know, but like I know right now.
I was gonna say, do your best Gary Vee impression.
Nah, I love Gary Vee. I'll probably go work with him one day.
Like it's a,
but
yeah, I'll probably ask you the same answer. You can manifest it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like, oh man, like I'm big on manifesting too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that like I've accomplished like in life has just been really manifesting and having a dream, and I think that's just like important for like creators and just as humans to dream. Don't ever be scared or don't ever like limit yourself, because like as a human you're so powerful. We like look at what you've been able to do. Like it's power in being a creative. It's power in bringing our ideas to life. So that's just something that I just want all creatives and people to know. Like, you can bring your ideas to life. Don't ever limit yourself. Don't ever box yourself in.
You spend a lot of time around X?
Yeah, like really like early on, we had the creative district events, and then we put X on tour with Stally when we did a tour with like MMG when they had Stally sign, and we had X and Ski on the tour, and then we had a few shows. So and one of my like best friends, like Kanji, she actually did the merch design, the Bad Vibes t-shirts.
For real?
Yeah, for X, and she worked closely with X.
That's the one with the hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So, that's how we kind of got connected. And I remember, like, my first time me and X, he put up to, like, an event I threw, like, a long, long time ago, like, called, like, Unvarnished. And, like, that was at, it was an art show in the Design District. And, like, I remember, like, when I first met him, like, the kid he was just, like, so humble. He was like, bro, like, this was, like, a dope show. And, like, this was, like, before he became, he was. And just to see, someone be, like, mad humble and just welcome him. And then, for me, booking him in the future and to see how his career just went up, it was just a cool experience,
Mm-hmm. What do you think it was about him that got him to that level? Because he's Florida native. You're over here throwing shows for him and stuff, so you got to see firsthand, like, how the crowd would, react to him and stuff. So what do you think made him get to that level?
I think it was him being himself. I think, there's power in, like, being yourself and, like, literally, like, no matter how crazy, no matter, like, how wild or whatever you're doing, like, living in your truth, like, I think there's power in that. And I think, his fans was able to see that. I think, we were able to see that. And I think that's what drew us to him because, normally we don't see people speaking about the things that he speak on or doing the certain things that he did. It was just, him being his whole self. And I think, when you're able to live in your truth, you're a real leader. And I think that's what this shit is about,
How do you be yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And what stops you from being yourself, and how does that affect the stuff that you do?
I think, like, I'm going to answer the second question first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think nothing really, like, stops me from, like, being myself, just because I try to really bring my ideas out, like, to life at all times, and I never try to, like, box myself in. Like, I remember when I first, got in the industry, and when I first started producing, like, a lot of people, they weren't trying to take my beats serious because I had, like, the initial respect for doing all these shows and concerts and booking artists like, X, Kodak, Young Thug, Lil Key, Coily Ray. And, like, it's like, at first people, they're like, yo, you're so good at, throwing shows and concerts that they didn't really want to entertain it. But ultimately, me, like, I'm going to be myself. So it's like, yo, my beats are what's fire. Like, as good as I can throw a show at concert, I can make beats just as good as that. You know what I'm saying? And people are now, like, getting, like, understanding that and moving towards that. So, and that's just an example of me just, like, being myself and living in my truth. Like, if I allow people to be like, oh, nah, like, just stay here, stay in that box, then, I wouldn't be able to, like, be myself and really, like, be in my truth. And I think that's what it's about.
And then the first part, like, how do you... Oh, I feel like you already answered it.
Both questions in one.
Yeah. So going back to NFTs, how did you first start hearing about NFTs? What did you think about them? And do you, like, tell me about what your plans are with them.
Okay.
So those three.
So when I first found out about NFTs, it was really through my good friend like Saeed. He's one of my longtime friends, business partners. We do like a lot of events like back in the day called like Creative District, and he's just like someone that's really tapped in within the visual artist community. So he was telling me about this website called OpenSea, and he was talking about how he's able to post his art and exchange it for like cryptocurrency, and how he's been succeeding and doing well in that space. So obviously me, I'm like, okay, it's art, and you're making money off of it. Like I think like I want to know more about it. Like I want to know, like, explain it, break it down. So he basically broke it down to me, and I ended up running into my good friend Wendy, and Wendy, she works with this company called BitBasil, where she's just someone that's very someone that's very big in the crypto spaces and the tech community in Miami. So she basically she brought the idea of me bringing what I do in the entertainment industry to crypto companies, and bringing it to the NFT space and working with different tech companies. So how I was able to just get involved with it is I was like, okay, well, we have these tech companies, we have these different NFTs. How about we merge it with like different artists? How about we bring artists that make music, like rap artists and different acts that we're like booking, and we merge both worlds together. And that's just how I was able to get involved with it, by just bringing what I do within the entertainment industry to like different tech spaces.
All right, so there was one other part I asked, but explain to me what an NFT is. Like like when people are like, "Oh, what are NFTs?" This is like art. Like I can just click save it.
So it's basically it's a non-fungible token, and basically what you can do is you can exchange this artwork, this piece of art, for a cryptocurrency, and then usually the artwork it has some type of value, rather it's utility, merchandise, or something that's tangible. And when you purchase like the token, it kind of counts as like, it's like having like a prize. It's like a collectible item. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just exchanging currency for a collectible item. And that's pretty much it in simple terms.
How do you stay up to date with NFTs?
Really, it's having people that's very involved within the space, just always getting me involved or just updating me with what's happening in those spaces. So just really having people that's that has power in these spaces, just updating me, keeping me involved with it.
We're in like a Discord server, or like
Discords, and just like that works with like different crypto companies like Crypto.com, like people that work with like BitBasil, just different people that's just involved with
it. I always hear the hardest part about throwing a show is the lineup.
Yeah.
Right? So tell me about an experience that you had where it's like, I was supposed to go, like someone didn't show up. Like, tell me about how that goes.
Oh, man. So, like, I think one of the, like, hardest lineups I ever did was, like, I remember one time I booked, like, this artist, and, this artist didn't show up. But the lineup that I had, structured, it was all structured to cater to the headliner. So, like, when it came to putting together, you're referring to, like, putting together a lineup, right? Like, deciding who I want to have on the show.
I feel like that's easier than, like, I'm talking more about, like, in the present moment of, like, the show's going on.
Okay.
So now it's like,
who's going to go on first, like, type shit.
I heard some crazy stories. Like, people are like, I'm giving my money back because I only performed for, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I think it all falls back down to, like, if an artist, like, what type of traction and what type of value is the artist bringing to the show. Because, like, you have some artists that are, like, considered openers, and, they don't truly really have, like, the most experience, performing with, like, major acts, but they want to test it out, and they want to build experience, so they decide to, like, open it up. obviously, you know, that caliber of artist is going to go first, you know what I'm saying, just because it's still like a building experience. So, you know, to me, how I try to structure it is based on experience, based on the music, and based on stage presence. Because I feel like if you don't have stage presence, or if you don't have, you know, like, if your music isn't really like slapping or hitting the right way, then, you know, I don't think it would make sense for, you know, artists to just really, you know, go first or, go last or perform later. I think it's really based off how good the music is.
So when is the best time to have the headliner?
It really all depends on the show, but the headliner should always go like towards the, like as late as possible.
For real?
Just because you want to try to draw as much people in as possible to the event.
A lot of events I go to, I mean, if it's like at a club, the headliner's always at the end because they like to come late.
And that's another thing too. Headliners, they love to come late. They always like doing some fuck shit. They just like it's Miami too, so you know they want to enjoy the city. They want to go to the KODs, go to Live, do the whole like experience and shit. So you know they always like to perform late. So
the club shows, the warehouse shows, they're a little different.
Hell yeah.
Because in the warehouse shows, at least the ones that I've been to, they always would have the headliners first.
Yeah.
Then the openers first, the headliner, and then the closers at the end.
Or I think that's really more so of like a situation where the headliner probably has a certain, in the contract, he probably has a certain clause where he has to perform at a certain time. He probably has to show up to like another show. So that's probably why they would have him perform and still have more artists perform after. Or maybe, you know, the lineup kind of got fucked up and, you know, they had to have the headliner go on earlier and then have some artists perform after. So, you know, it's every show is like different, you know what I'm saying? Like the way how I throw like my events or my concerts or my shows is different to any other, like the next event producer or the next event, you know, every show is different. So every show has their own different format and their own signature.
How much was the most that you ever paid for a headliner?
Oh my God, man. Jesus. Like, I'll just say the most.
Did you ever get your money back?
Of course. Well, some situations you take L's and in some situations you win. You know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, my most expensive show, it was kind of like $250,000. Came up to like $250,000.
That you had to pay?
Everything. Like, just the cost of the show was like $250,000.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And, you know, it was a dope experience. And like one thing I'm gonna say is in this game, you gotta be willing to like invest in yourself, invest in your dreams, you know. If you're not willing to like risk and put money down for what you believe in, then you shouldn't be doing this.
See, because I always had, my bad to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
But I always wanted to throw shows like 6 Feet Presents, you know.
Yeah.
But then this guy kind of put doubt in me because he's like, bro, people ruin their lives in this industry because it's like a lot. So I would always think that, and I'm like,
but he a hoe for that.
Yeah,
bro?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bitch for that. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, because it held me back from a lot of stuff. You know, I could have been out here the whole time you saw me coming up, throwing shows and got my name out more.
Hell yeah, there's so many ways to do events. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever think that you know you have to limit yourself to like. You know, putting up, you know, like your own bread to throw events. You know, that's why they have sponsorships in place. That's why they have different brand deals. That's why they have like, you know, angel investors. There's so many different ways how you can approach it. But ultimately, you should always want to believe in yourself and bet on yourself and never be scared to take a risk. Especially like, bro, we young. Like, how old are you?
27. Remember, I just turned 27.
We young as fuck, bro. Like, we got so much life ahead of us. And it's like, it's best now.
How old are you?
24.
Okay.
So it's best that we take all the chances and the opportunities while we can now, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if we don't do it now, like, what? You want to be fucking 50, 60, having regret. Shit, even if you is 50 and 60, you can still do some shit. But like, you don't want to die trying, bro.
That's the inner Gary V coming out here.
Yeah.
Like,
Facts.
I was fucking working, bro.
Yeah, G shit. And Gary V, he talks about it all the time. It's like, we're so young and we feel like we gotta accomplish like so much now when it's so much more life to live, bro. Like it's so much more life to live.
Anytime I think of Gary V, you watch TikTok?
Yeah, I do.
There's this guy that impersonates. He's like, you got so much time, bro.
That was too good.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
know, right?
God,
He's like, he's like, oh, I want to make like $250,000. He's like, oh, make a TikTok.
I know exactly who you talking about, the Asian dude. Yo, I know exactly who you talking about.
There's like a couple of them. But
Yeah.
they're so funny, bro. I be laughing.
Hell
laughing.
yeah. That dude, he's funny as fuck, bro.
But Gary, because I fuck with Gary V. He inspired me to do this,
Oh, that's fire. What the
Yeah.
fuck? I never do that. That's hard.
Yeah, I would just draw and just like listen to Gary V. like the entire day.
Yeah, damn, that's gangster.
Yeah, because he did interviews too,
Yeah, hell yeah.
But one, all right,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What like really inspired you to start like 6 feet? Like what was the inspiration behind that? Where were you when you was like, okay, I want to bring this idea to life?
I know, right? No, I'm a veteran in the game though. I don't know. Because there are so many things. Like I was watching No Jumper too, so like the thing. I mean, like I was going to all the events. I was making music, and the thing is, it's like, you watch No Jumper?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so I would just listen to Gary and Adam and Charlamagne, and I'm thinking like, you know what? These dudes are old as fuck.
Yeah.
They're interviewing these young rappers.
Yeah.
And I used to play like Yu-Gi-Oh, RuneScape, Pokemon, and all that shit. And they talk about it in the interview. I've never told no one this. This is 6 feet. This is Eli Hawkins.
It's an Eli Hawkins 6 feet interview. I'm taking over.
Right?
It's the takeover.
Take over.
But the thing is, like, they would talk about stuff that, like, I'd be like, bro, like, I could talk to someone about that.
Yeah.
So
and you have more knowledge about it because you're actually living, you're actually involved in the culture.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why I really fucked with where you were going with 6 feet is because you were actually at these events. You actually knew the artists. You knew what you were talking about. And I think that's, like, important, like...
I see the Adventure Time tattoos.
Yeah.
You
know what time it is.
Adventure Time. Like, yeah, I fuck with Adventure Time.
But, yeah, bro, like, that shit is dope as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And
I appreciate that.
That's you taking the risk. You know what I'm saying? I feel like whatever you want to do, like, don't be scared to take a risk. Like, and, if you ever need advice on, like, events or how to throw shows, how to get sponsorships, we out here, like, I got you, phone call away, bro. Like,
yo, I was gonna say, it's just like you would being the producer, just like we asked, like, be making producer. You actually know the shit that you know on both sides.
Yeah.
You don't just know like, oh yeah, I just make beats or
Hell
I
yeah.
just like throw events.
I really like try to look at myself as like a bridge between like the underground and the corporate. Like,
You like the avatar of
it? Type shit. But nah, like just because, I was fortunate to be young and be in a lot of like corporate rooms. Like when I first started throwing shows, me and my friends, we were 16. We were in high school, throwing events, throwing concerts, booking artists like Puya, Ski, Rob Banks, like Kodak, like all doing this all, being under 20, you know what I'm saying? So it's like throwing shows at such a young age is a lot. I had to grow up like fast and I had to mature early on. So that allowed me to be in certain rooms and really see and really understand the value of being a creative and having culture influence. So, working with these like corporate companies when it came to them sponsoring an event because they saw that, we could bring heads, we could bring numbers, we could bring people out. When I started to really see that, okay, if these big major corporations and these companies can like pay top dollar just because we're inviting people in our community out, it showed me that as artists, as creatives, as being people that's down here tapped in within the culture, we have value and we got to respect our value. And I feel like there's like obviously like money currency, like financial currency in the green dollar, but I also feel like there's culture currency. And I feel like culture currency is something that should always be thought about and weighed in any like negotiation or anything that you're doing. Like okay, I might not have a fucking $1 million, but $1 million, but if I can influence 1 million people, then my worth is $1 million plus more.
All right. So, if a person all right, because I just thought 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
If a person has like 1 million followers, say they're real or not, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
is that statement still true?
It all depends on how engaging. Are these 1 million followers that are engaging? Are these 1 million followers that are supporting them? Like, if this person drops a T-shirt, can you get 1 million of his followers to pay $1 so you can make another 1 million? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much, are these followers engaging with him? And even if half of them were only engaging with him, if he has a following that's engaging with any of the content or any other product that he puts out, then he has worth. That person has worth. He can monetize off of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
One other thing about that I always heard is that, like let's say an artist fell off, right?
Mm-hmm.
An artist fell off. They have like 3 million followers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they really falling off if they have?
It's all in a mind state, bro. I feel like you got to be able to like just think positive and just really look at yourself as a business, no matter. Look at yourself as a business, or just look at yourself as like a human being and know your worth. Like, fuck falling off. If you have like 1 million followers, you have people that's interacting with you. Who gives a fuck if your single's not charting? It's like, how are you making like an influence? What all are you doing? Like, you don't gotta just limit yourself to like being an artist. If you fall off musically, then pivot to another avenue if your heart calls for it. Or if you feel like you didn't fall off yet and you feel like you could still prove yourself musically, then do that. I feel like as artists, we always have something to like prove. You know what I'm saying? So even if a person is like falling off or even feel like they're falling off, I feel like there's always going to be just that feeling of always wanting to perform at your best and perform at your highest level.
Mm-hmm. With 6 feet, like after before the pandemic, because I had taken a break, right? Because I started tattooing, and I wasn't really focusing on 6 feet too often. So I kind of sacrificed 6 feet so I could learn how to tattoo.
Yeah.
And I kind of stayed stagnant with it. Basically, like some people told me like, oh, your channel's dead, you fell off and all this stuff, right? But the thing is like I had noticed that when I was interviewing like smaller artists, I wasn't really getting I wouldn't get that many views on it.
Hell yeah.
But if I interview like Smoke Perp, then I would get like 100K in like a day.
Yeah.
So then it made me realize I don't really the whole thing with 6 feet was I was doing an interview every day. So every day I would, just like how now I did. It kind of took me back to like my old days.
Yeah.
I would do like 2-3 interviews a day and just drop them.
Yeah.
Just like have them lined up. And it was that consistency that was really making me blow up.
Yeah.
But then it got to a point when I was realizing that, I hadn't done an interview in a long ass time, and I interviewed Rob Banks, and it got like 18K in the first week.
Fire.
So I'm thinking okay, I don't need to interview people every day.
Yeah.
I just need to interview
The right people.
Yeah, bigger people.
Yeah.
But the thing is I did that was my theory, right? So I wasn't really going that hard with it. But then I interviewed Smoke Perp again, and I saw that his interview only got like 300 views, and I'm thinking all I needed was the name.
Yeah.
But then, tell me about what you think about that.
I feel like the thing is, at the time when you did the original interview, it was just a lot of momentum with not just Smoke Perp name, but the 6 feet interview as well. So I feel like both of you guys having the momentum at the time when you did the first original interview, that's how it was able to do the numbers that it did. I think obviously, like you just said, you're back in the rebuilding phases because you took a break because of the pandemic. The pandemic is just now barely wrapping up, and now you're getting back to doing interviews. I think all it really takes is for you to just keep building that momentum, get back to being consistent, and you'll do another interview with someone big, and you back to them 300 views. So I just think you're in a phase where coming back out, you're doing interviews. So now, it's just the rebranding, and now you just got to turn back up again. And I think that's what it's about.
I appreciate that. But how does that relate to what you're doing?
Like, how I would relate to it is just, okay, perfect example. So, like, before the pandemic, the last show I did was I put together Coily Ray's Florida tour alongside doing Danny Towers' homecoming tour in Orlando. Like, before the pandemic, when artists could perform in Miami, shit was like sold out. We sold out on all 3 shows. After the pandemic came, I was like, yo, fuck it. Like, I know we're not really. It's like once the pandemic slowed down, and they were starting to let people do events and have people go out to more clubs. I was like, yo, fuck it. Let me try it out. Let me try doing the show. I didn't book a crazy headline artist, but I booked someone that had traction. I'm not gonna say their name, out of respect, but I expected to do numbers like all my previous events before COVID, and the show didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, what's going on? Usually, I throw a fucking party, this shit's packed. I know I'm guaranteed more than 100 people. You know what I'm saying? And, this particular event, it didn't happen. So what it allowed me to do is I had to, reinvent the wheel and build up that whole motion and traction. So what did I end up doing? I started this event called Hype Tuesdays, where every Tuesday we'll throw an event and we'll just have an artist, perform and come out. And, when they come out and perform, they're bringing heads. It was I had to get shit back popping within the community because, during the pandemic, nobody could go to shows. So I did that. We ran that event from October to, I want to say March. And then luckily I threw another show down here and it sold out, and now things are back popping. So I think you have to be able to understand when you gotta give back to your core audience and build that momentum up. You can't be scared to go back to the drawing board and build that momentum back up. Mm-hmm. Did I answer your question?
No, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, we're going through the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's really, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Mario. You watching my jit for me right now. You feel me? Get my shit right.
Well, who are you? Who are you?
What's good? I'm Dylan. Oh fuck, my bad. We using artist names and shit.
Oh yeah, if you want.
Yeah. Actually, I'm in the middle of changing my fucking artist name right now.
I mean, if you want, we can set up an interview,
this shit gonna be, huh?
We can set up an interview if you want.
I don't know, bro. Nah, I gotta go. Let me get your shit, bro. I gotta go.
Here, or send it to
you. Yeah, I'll send it to you, bro. I'll set it up.
Yeah.
Right. Set it up, bro.
We're gonna handle this, bro. We're gonna handle this.
Nah, for sure, bro.
All right, bro. Get home safe, all right?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it's like.
It's cool, bro.
Damn, I forgot. But, how can you make money during events?
Oh, man, it's so many ways. Obviously, ticket sales, obviously, sponsorships, obviously, pay and plays. But there's a lot of ways to make money throwing events. Because
every time I think about it, mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, if I throw an event, right, I always do the same thing. I take out my calculator. I'm like, if I sell tickets $10 each, yeah. I'm only gonna make $3,000, and then I gotta spend all that on it. So it's I probably make $200.
Bro,
is it really worth it for the whole night?
So I'm just gonna give some free game out. I
set it up and put it on Patreon.
Nah.
It's for the real stuff.
Hey, just give me a % of whatever you make on Patreon.
Yeah, bro, you gotta just make a course.
Nah, facts. We could collab on that shit.
Definitely, bro.
6 feet x Eli Hawkins.
I'm down.
Course. But yeah, just some free game. I like I said, starting off throwing events. I started throwing events when I was 16. We invested a lot of our own money. We had a bunch of different angel investors, and a lot of these events were just one-offs. So I had to make that transition. It's I threw a lot of one-off events. I kept booking artists just because they were popping, and we were getting a return on our investments, but we were also taking a lot of L's. We was losing a lot of money. So I ended up just taking time and doing research. They say success leaves clues. So I watched the Dope BNT documentary, and it was the owner of Dope BNT
That was,
tired.
yeah, that was gonna be one of my. Is leading into one of my questions.
Yeah, that's fire. So I watched his interview, and he just dropped a gem about how, you know, he went from just doing one-off events to doing tours.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, it's like, oh shit, like the bell ringed in my head. It was like a light bulb. It was like tours, of course, because tours are more profitable than events. Because artists, like when it comes to doing events and booking artists, it's kind of hard for them to promote. Like you got to be on their ass to make sure they're posting this flyer every day, making sure that their audience is seeing this. But if you transition to a tour, the artists, they kind of have no other choice but to promote the event.
Oh,
and
shit, I never thought of that.
Yeah, so that's some free game. You feel me? Eli Hawkins, 60 interview. But, you know, I was like, oh shit, like it hit me. And then I was like, okay, so, you know, if I really want to win and not lose money, I got to like do tours and I got to book these artists on their tour routes. And, you know, once I made that transition, I was just able to, you know, succeed, win more, and stop taking a lot of losses and make a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, I think in whatever you're doing, try to learn from like other people's mistakes. Try to do research and try to do research on people that's already like succeeding in what you're trying to do, because success leaves clues.
Yeah,
I think that's like the most important thing, is just doing research and just trying to figure out how other people that's won in the field that you're trying to win in has already won. You know, just figure out how to actually win and study people that win.
Was there ever something that you tried that you thought, oh, that might be a good idea, but then it actually didn't work, and then you kind of bummed you out?
Hell yeah. Like honestly, like whoa. I tried a lot of shit, and like I felt out a lot of shit. Like there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of artists that like I've booked and I thought they would hit, but they didn't hit, and like I've lost like mad money on, and I've just been like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of artists that like I've like worked with and managed and invested in, and I thought, you know, they would hit, but it was like they didn't. And you know, it's a lot of like trial and error.
You made me feel better for all the free shows I got. Right now,
bro, you need it. What you're doing, like, man, I feel like if you're adding value to the show, you deserve to be in. For real? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna put this content out, and if you're gonna share the content with me, you know, then by all means, you're a camera guy and you're respected, come in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you deserve to be there. You know.
Well, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, you have to, because everybody plays a part. Like, I try to look at like events, even like. I look at like the way how I produce events, the way how I do business deals, the way how I close deals. I look at it as like it has to be an art to it. You know, I never walk into like an event on like, oh, how I'm gonna monetize off of how much money am I gonna make off of this? I walk into like, how can I make this feel like an art show? Like, how can this look like a art? How can this look like I'm putting together like a song? You know what I'm saying? And even when it comes to like doing a business deal, it's like, how can I make sure all of these are hitting the right notes, right chords, and everything that I want in this contract, in this deal, is a part of like what I have going on. Like, it makes sense with everything that I have going on. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, when you approach art, business deals, or anything in life, like it's actually art, or like it's a painting, or like you're trying to put together, you know, a masterpiece, then you're able to see things more clearly, and you're not just blinded by greed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's just what I would say.
You do mostly like 18 up shows, or do you do 21 shows?
You know, like starting off, majority of my events were like 18 up. You know, but now I've gotten into owning like a talent agency. So you know, I manage a lot of like DJs, a lot of different artists. So I have to be involved within the club.
You manage a lot of them?
Well, not a lot, but I manage 2.
I was thinking that on the way here, because I was thinking like, if I was like, I kind of want to manage artists.
Oh my god, do it. Honestly, it's such a fucking hassle. You know what I'm saying? And like,
I feel like I'd be good at it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I feel like if you have resources, do it. But you know, with me, it's like I have so many resources, and I started off like, you know, managing to the point where it's like I'm kind of like, all right, I don't want to just like manage talent by myself. Like, I'm gonna bring like a business partner on, and we're gonna start a management company, and we're gonna like manage these artists and these different acts. But you know, I just want to be able to like produce for them and utilize my resource and give them free game. I don't want to be day to day because, you know, just being fully transparent. Now that like I've made that transition of thinking, well, not even thinking of like being a producer and an artist, it's like I can't just be, you know, someone like solely manager. You know what I'm saying? It's like I have to come in as like almost like an executive producer, but like I have so much different skills and so much different resources. It's like all of them fall into like management and PR. Like it's like I fucking damn near do everything. You know what I'm saying?
How do you get in contact with artists? Like if you're booking an artist for a show, like because sometimes I know that they have like the email in their bios, but like what is the best way like some free game on how to get like
that's
really
a lot of free game. That's a lot of free game, Nick. That's a lot of free game. But
that definitely go on the Patreon. Of course.
Nah, it's all for the community, bro. We need more people to know clues and gems. So the best thing that I would say is reaching out to like an agency. I have like really a lot of dope agencies that I work closely with. Shout out to ICM. Shout out UTA. All these are like, you know, major agencies that have that have a lot of established talent. And, you know, once you build a rapport or a relationship with an agency, and after they see, you know, like your track record, they start coming to you. You don't got to really start looking to them, you know. Like they come to you and they be like, hey, Eli, we have, you know, such and such getting ready to get up for a tour. Would you like to present their tour? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, at first it's all about like building a relationship either through hitting them up and their booking information. But, you know, if you want to go the one-off event where if you just want to do like single shows and just book an artist for one event, then you can reach out to their booking information. Usually they have it in their email. But if you want to think, you know, more longevity, then I would say reach out to their booking agency and figure out how you can do a tour with them. So yeah.
Should an artist pay for a slot or should they sell tickets?
It all depends on what type of artist you are. Like, if you feel like, I feel like all artists gotta invest in their career. I think, you know, you're not gonna get nowhere without investing in your career. So that's first. So I think if you have to pay for a show and if you feel like it's worth paying for it, take the opportunity because, you know, so much can come out of that opportunity if you really look at it as more than just opening up. If you look at it as like, yo, like I'm down there on tour with this artist, you know, you take your footage from it, you take the flyer, you take your marketing material of you being on that tour or being on that tour or you opening up for that certain artist and, you know, you put together a package and you play it to your advantage and you present it, you add it to your EPK and you present it to different labels, you present it to different investors and, you know, people, they like knowing that like you invested in yourself. They like to see that, okay, this person's already done a lot of work. This person already invested in themselves. Me coming along is just adding more value and helping this person get closer to their dreams. So I think, you know, paying for a show, it's definitely worth it. I feel like if you're an artist that has a strong fan base and you can get them tickets off, sell them tickets too, you know what I'm saying? Because what you do is after you sell those tickets, after a while, you know, you're going to have a track record, you're going to build a rapport with a promoter, and you're going to be able to have those same people that support you pull up to your own events, and you can produce your own shows, and you can headline your own shows now, because you've already got hundreds or 200 people, like, just going to your shows off of you selling tickets. So, you know what I'm saying? It really everything is in the mindset, bro. Like, it's all about how you approach it, all about how you think, how you think, bro.
So, a lot of game in this.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, you gotta call this title this shit $1 million worth of game with Eli.
Bro, like I'm going crazy with the title. Because I honestly never used the title and just play like the name of the artist. But now it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just do that.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, mogul Eli.
Exactly. All right. So I used to look up to like whenever people would like tell me like, oh, I opened up for this person, for that person. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But now like, you know, after I opened up for people, I stopped kind of respecting you as much, you know.
Mhm.
So is it like a respectable thing to open up for somebody?
I think it all depends on where you are in your career. If you feel like you're in the beginning stages and you feel like, well, honestly, I think
because I'm pretty sure you hear that a lot. Like, oh, I opened up for this person.
Yeah.
So,
but I just want to say, like, you even have artists that are selling fucking millions of records and they're opening up for like artists. Like 21 Savage opened up for J. Cole. 21 Savage is a platinum artist. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
all right, but was he an opener? Because I'm pretty sure he didn't pay.
He didn't pay, but
he's getting paid.
Or you can have someone like Moray. You know what I'm saying? Like he has one platinum song. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he paid to open up for J. Cole, but you do have that instance where labels, they pay to have their artists open up for a popping artist on tour. So just because, you know, artists are doing it on a local level, the same rules apply in the industry as well. Like, if an artist has a certain relationship with, you know, the artist or whoever's coordinating the tour, if their label feel like, yo, this would be a good look for our artist to put them on tour, the label's going to pay what's needed to put that artist on tour if that artist needs to get some traction.
All right, so how do you like prevent being starstruck from the artist? Like, oh shit, this person hit me up. How do I like charge them? You know, like sometimes you want to do it for free.
I feel you. I actually go through that shit a lot, like
For real?
a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I think, you know, ultimately I gotta separate the two. I gotta separate, you know, actually respecting the art as a fan, and actually like running a business because, you know, it's always bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you do have those instances where it's an artist that kind of has that notoriety and that they're well known to where it's like, yo, fuck it. I'm a fan of you. You're going to bring more value to the show. Fuck it. You perform for free. And then you have some artists where it's like, I'm a fan of you, but the headliner we already have is already popping and he's already sold this shit out. So, you know, really putting you on the show, like, it's not going to change, you know, the show at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's really hard, but, you know, I think it all depends on what type of artist it is and really on what type of influence and if they can bring value to the show.
Yeah, so going back to what I was saying, like, I honestly, you know, I've dealt with that too, in that on my side, I noticed that, like, you know, like for big, like, I obviously want bigger artists on the platform, so it's because they draw the most people. Yeah. But I noticed that because I do charge for the interviews, because it's like I have so many people asking.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I always say to myself, like, I feel like I have something called like business vision, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like anywhere I'm at, I can just see like how can I
monetize
make this
off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's very good to have as a creative because I feel like as creatives, you know, we get lost on bringing the idea and bringing the project to life and bringing our dreams and visions of life that it's so easy to forget to monetize off of a project, or sometimes we don't even think that deep into it just because we're so focused on getting it done.
Yeah, starving artist mentality.
Yeah, you know, and we're used to having that starving artist mentality, but, you know, these are new times. Times are changing. Yeah. This is the way how the world is moving. It's moving in the favor of artists. You know what I'm saying? Where artists, like we were saying with the NFTs, artists are able to take their content,
even on TikTok.
Yeah, even on TikTok. I was gonna say with content. Now artists are able to monetize off of their content through TikTok, Instagram, and even social media on all social media platforms. And, you know, you can take your interviews and based off your analytics, you can go to a fucking sponsor and you can get a lot of fucking money off of your interviews just because you've been able to build up a certain fan base, you know? It's just, you just have to go to a company that you feel like will appreciate what you have to offer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and that's the importance, and I want all creatives to understand that brand deals are important. Like, don't be scared to partner up. Even if it's not you solely, like some of my brand deals, they come from not even solely me, but just helping other artists and putting other artists in position to win. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you can't have that selfish, that greedy mentality. You can't be the type to hide a play for someone because you might be able to bring a play to someone and that play might create 10,000 other plays for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, you. It's funny. You're like answering a question that I had asked earlier today.
Yeah.
And I was like, cause I hit up a guy to interview him because I was actually a fan. He's like, oh, you have just like music people.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself like, yeah, but you know, like I actually want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it goes back to what you were saying basically.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like a 360 moment.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
No, I was just going to say that I think, you know, when it comes to interviewing people that do what you do, I feel like that's important, you know, because somebody got to be it's important to give people their flowers, you know, like what you're doing it's needed in the community. What you're doing takes a lot of work. I feel like people that radio personalities, podcast hosts, like you got to get interviews too, because what you're doing is important and people got to hear your story. You got to inspire someone that wants to be just like you. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you asking me about it.
Yeah, bro.
It always puts me. I don't like answering questions for some reason. It's like I'm the interviewer. You know?
Yeah, bro.
But I was saying before, you know, like since I do charge for the interviews, some people hate on it, or whatever. But I always find that like the artists that I interview for free, because you know, like that cloud or whatever, their interviews kind of suck. Not all of them, but like, because there was this one.
They're less engaged.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't really give a fuck, and they're just like, they don't really want to be there and shit. But then it's like the people that pay, they're the best. They have the best energy. Yeah, you know.
I think that's because really like sometimes just from being a executive producer of a talk show and booking different, you know, talent to come on air, what I've been saying is if an artist really, and this is no shade to any of the artists that have been on our show, you know, it's much love, but, you know, you have artists that feel like if it's going to benefit them, they're going to, you know, utilize the opportunity. But then you have artists where it's like, oh, shit, I'm just doing this just because, you know, my manager or my publicist was like, we got to do an interview. I'm not going to really give a fuck about it, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't that the whole point of hiring a manager so you can get these opportunities?
Yeah, it is. But, you know, at the same time, you know, like artists, like I said, like I've played so many roles, so many different positions to the point where it's like, I know like sometimes as an artist, you may just want to be in the studio that day. You don't want to fucking do an interview. Like you may want to be like, yo, fuck it, I'm not really in the mood to do an interview. But you have, you know, people like your manager and your publicist who have to make sure that, you know, you're on top of doing these things, and they're like pushing you to do this fucking interview. And you're like, fuck, like I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it because my manager, my publicist says good luck. And now you're like doing it just to do it, you know? You're not really as engaging in it.
Yeah, to me I see it as like a triangle, right? It's like where I'm at is like somewhere on the triangle where it's like under me is it's like all these like kids like, yo, how can I get an interview? How can I get an interview? You know? And then it's like I'm trying to like on the top it's like they're just so above. It's like, you know, they're like, oh, this is like work. I don't really want to do it. It's kind of
that's why I feel like you gotta get back to pulling up on people, bro. I remember this, you just fucking brought back like a memory from like a while ago. Like I don't even know if you remember this, but I remember one time I was working at iHeartRadio, and it was like the Lil Pump concert at Club Heart. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like, you know, I was on the billboard truck, you know, putting the billboard up, but I remember seeing you, I think some artist was walking and you knew the artist and you interviewed him like on spot. Like you pulled up on him and like I think you took your phone. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And it's like
that was one of my favorite interviews.
Exactly. So it's like you pulling up on certain artists, it's like they wasn't expecting that, you know what I'm saying? And like it was more engaging. Like you got them to like actually talk about it because they were like just out and about and like you just pulled up on them. It's kind of similar to like what these new TikTok influencers do, where it's like, oh, what's up? Like, you ever seen that one TikTok influencer that be asking people how much their clothing is? Like,
I kind of do that.
Yeah, that's all.
I do it in Woodwood.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So doing more shit like that, where it's like when you want to interview like a big actor or a big artist, just get in a room where they're gonna be at and just try to approach them.
You wanna know something crazy?
What's that?
Remember Chop Circus?
Yeah, I remember that event.
Did you go?
Yeah, I did. I actually helped Jake with getting the production.
For real?
On the event.
Now I got a lot of stuff. But I remember, bro, like, when I was preparing for that, I was writing down all the questions, because I always had this thing. That's why I don't never write questions, because I always noticed that anytime I write questions, the artist always just like flakes or just say like like something happens, right?
Hey, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I've just from like executive producing like a talk show and whatnot. We do this thing where, like, I've been watching a lot of, like, Breakfast Club interviews, a lot of Drink Champs, and I see that when most of these interviews do their questions, like, they have their producers send them a list of questions just so they can stay on track. But artists don't fuck with that. Like, they don't fuck with that shit at all.
Some artists. Because if you see Nicki Minaj's interview, she's like, Shani, you know that?
That's always, like, my fear is, like, that they're going to want me to, like, I do a little bit of research, but I don't write down questions anymore. Just like, so what I was going back to saying is I wrote down all the artists that were performing and I wrote down all the questions for them, right? And the thing is like, for the artists that I already knew, like Lil Tracy, Adam 22, I forgot who else. I think Reggie Mills.
Reggie Mills was on that show,
Yeah. All these people that I didn't write questions, I even wrote for Cardi B, you know? And it's funny because all the people that I wrote questions for, I did not meet them. I didn't get to interview them. But only the people that I didn't write questions for, I interviewed.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then that was just the time that I noticed it. Like I really like cemented it in my head, because I noticed it before. But I was like, Brad, like there's no way that I only wrote down like 6 people that I didn't, I could probably say off the top of my head. But it's like all those people that I wrote questions for,
I think, that like universe is very like important, being in tune, you know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes when certain shit doesn't go as you expected, you gotta trust the universe and just trust it to play out. So like if you weren't meant to interview those people with those questions, then it wasn't meant to happen, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you would have been nervous asking them these questions. Maybe, you would have fucked up, but I'm pretty sure the people that you didn't expect to ask questions, the interviews was like flawless, right? I love my shit.
They got a lot of hate, but they're but they're good though. They're part of like my history.
Yeah, it's facts. That's the better side about it. But that's just how like I would look at it.
I mean, I feel like it's low key a little disrespectful to like not research the artist or.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
definitely is.
Like not. I mean, like to not write questions, because I didn't write questions for you. But the thing is, we're having a good conversation.
Hell yeah.
So it's like, not only am I gaining a lot of value from you, the people watching it are getting a lot of value from you as well.
Yeah. From
things that I wouldn't have anticipated what you were gonna talk about, like Tariq or like tour, like all the tour stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel like and that's one thing too. I feel like organic conversation is everything too. Like at first, though, when we were producing, when we first started off with the product radio show, a lot of it, I wanted it to be very natural, very organic, but within having my DJ really, keep the conversation organic, I felt like a lot of stuff got off topic. Like the conversations really got off topic. It was like it would just be thrown off. So I felt like, it was always important to have that question there so you can just always keep track and keep pace of the conversation. Yeah. And I think that's just how, that's just how we do it. But everybody is different, you know what I'm saying?
You know what else? Right before the pandemic, I was using this guy's studio, and he told me that one of my problems was that I let the artist take control of the interview.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one taking control of it, right?
You gotta have a balance, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's some interviewers like fucking, like there's some interviews where all they do is talk and they never let the artist talk. And I'm just like, yo, like, you have the Gary V's, you have Nori. Like I love Drink Champs, but sometimes like, Nori, like, he don't be shutting the fuck up. And it's like, he just don't be shutting the fuck up. And sometimes, I be wanting to hear what the fuck the artist gotta say and get more insight on, what the artist is talking about in their experience, And sometimes it's like I want to hear the host talk and ask the questions, but it's like I want to hear the artist say more. And I just hate when like hosts kind of like interrupt artists while they're telling a good story. You know what I'm saying?
I was about there. But that's a joke though.
Yeah.
Because that is one reason why. Because the thing is, when I'm listening to an interview, it's most of the time, I'm like in a flow of what I'm doing.
Hell yeah.
Like if I'm drawing, if I'm working out, if I'm walking.
It's like it's an art to it.
it's more like a vibe. Right?
True. Okay.
So it's like I'm vibing because there's good podcasts and like I was gonna ask you watch No Jumper, right?
Yes.
So you know about Sharp?
I'm not familiar with Sharp.
Well, because Sharp is like one of the new hosts.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched No Jumper interview in a
He
while.
does not stop talking, bro.
Shit.
Like you're like, let me ask you about this.
Yeah.
As a black man, why is like how do you feel about growing up? And like for me, I as a black man, I wasn't like, he just keeps like he doesn't let you. That's like the thing I always hate about interviews. Like, I feel like I'm doing it now, but when they ask like 200 questions, like bro, I was watching this one interview and dude was like asking like 14 questions, and then he was like asking him so fast, like, and then the girl was like, wait, what?
Oh my god. That shit can be fucking annoying as fuck. Like I've had interviews where the interviewer kept asking like mad questions and I was like, yo bro, like I just answered that. Like I mean you can ask me the same thing,
Yeah.
And like, that shit can be annoying. But I think everything is about having like a type of chemistry and having like a flow. Like and now from doing like a few interviews, I've learned to like kind of like balance it out, make it where it's like it's a give and take where I'm gonna have you talk, but I'm also gonna make sure I get what I want to say off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And say what I have to say.
Have you ever taken psychedelics?
Damn,
It get deep.
it does get deep.
I mean, if you don't want to say it on camera, it's fine.
Fuck it, I have.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of psychedelics.
Bro?
Yeah.
No, because like I remember one time I was on acid, allegedly, and
Allegedly, yeah. Facts. Allegedly.
it could have been like a trigger switch.
Yeah.
But it's funny because is your phone going?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
It's cool.
But it's funny because I was walking with my boy. We were taking a walk, and he kept interrupting me and stuff. And then it was making me realize that you're not letting me walk. Like when you're walking, you don't want someone to just jump in front of you all the time, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it made me realize, that's what you're doing when you interrupt someone.
Yeah.
It's like you're walking, but it's like you gotta stop, and it wastes energy.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, my goal in interviewing is just like I'm just saying in my head, just let them walk, let them walk, right?
It's crazy what you find out on psychedelics, right? It's crazy the shit that you discover. Like that shit is hilarious.
It's really helpful.
Yeah, definitely for the ego. Like I feel like like when I first experimented with like shrooms and shit, I did a lot of research. What really drew me to it was the ayahuasca tea. You ever heard about that?
You done it?
I've never done it.
But
you.
No, man, that's you gotta go like resorts.
Yeah, you gotta go deep. Like I know some people that have done that experience with DMT, but what really brought me to it was the idea of ego death. And I think in the type of industry that we work in the field that we're in, it's full with a lot of ego. It's like we get like I feel like a lot of people, and within the field that we work in, it's easy to let your ego get the best of you, And at the time when I first tried like psychedelics, it was like, damn, like I'm going through like a high in my career. Everything is like, working out. And it's like, I'm success, like great event after event, like deals after deals, like, like it was really, it was a good time period. But at the same time, I wasn't like happy, like internally, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like, I had to really like check like my ego and feel like, damn, like, it's like, like everything is going right, but like, internally, like I'm not like at my best. Like I'm still not satisfied. So it led me to like trying like psychedelics and shrooms, and from doing that, it's like I had a whole like acid trip like during this like whole the park, and I like ended up meditating, listening to like different sounds, different frequencies, and I came to the realization that ultimately none of this shit matters. It's like it matters, but it matters about the impact and the people that you inspire. But like you being consumed with it, you making a certain amount of money, you reaching a certain like success, and feeling like you have to basically flaunt your success. Like it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because we all die when it's said and done. So it's like it's important to do the work and leave an impact on earth. But as far as like feeling like you have to just, shout out like all your victories and boost and brag about everything that you accomplished. I feel like it's no need. It's no need to. I feel like it's just best to continue to just do great work, let people gravitate to it, and then when it's time to speak about it, like an interview like this, then you talk about it and then you shed light on everything done.
Definitely.
I don't even know how the fuck we got there. Like I don't even know how we just even.
It's like I wasn't listening, but I was understanding.
That's cool. That's important. Like I'm one of the people where it's like I let people talk, but I try to like get all the key important facts.
No, I feel like it's just like the stuff that you're saying was just like intuitively like going. So like I just get it. Like like I don't know.
Me too.
Before I wrap it up, what do you think it takes? All right. First, what do you think it takes to get to that Rolling Loud level? And give me 5 things that you want to manifest. And is your phone still on?
Okay, it's still on. I think getting to that Rolling
might have to use this.
We almost finished.
Same that.
Oh, it's at 40%. Yeah, I think it's safe.
Alright. It's always so confusing whenever you.
I know.
Okay, make sure that.
Okay, perfect.
We got an hour next year.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna start this. Alright, you wanna ask the question then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what does it take to get to that Rolling Loud level?
I think it takes a big budget, and I also think it takes being consistent and never giving up.
I mean, isn't that for like if you're gonna skip to that? Like you don't think you need to build up to it, or you can just go to it automatically?
Yeah, and I think that goes back into being consistent. Like with Rolling Loud, they had like a lot of like trials and errors. Even like me doing events, like it's a lot of like trial and errors. You had to be able to learn from your mistakes, and you can't be scared to fail. So I think that goes back into being consistent. Like never give up. Like don't be scared to take a risk and book an artist, but try to make sure it's a calculated risk and try to skip the steps and all the hardships that people before you had to go through to actually to get the best result. Like going back to when I said about throwing Torius, I think if someone can look at like a Eli Hawkins event, a Dope and T event, and see like okay, these people they start off with doing shows and then they transition to tours. I'm just gonna go straight into doing tours, so I don't have to go through everything that they went through. There's some lessons in it as well too, but I think really just trying to understand like where people went wrong or understanding where people won at is very important. So yeah.
No, I was just thinking about something because I'm imagining like when you go on tour, it's like the journey, right?
Hell yeah.
And it's like it's some crazy person. Because bro, all right. One time I went to Texas, right? Because me and my boys went on tour. We went on the Kid Trunks tour.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, we go to the
one that was in it was like Texas, New
Yeah.
York. I remember that shit. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
We go to Texas and we get like this hotel at like 6 in the morning, like 2 in the morning, right? And the lady gives us the key, and then we go there, and then we're like trying to put the key in.
Yeah.
This dude comes out with his fucking gun.
What the fuck?
Like just about to blow our brains out and shit. And we're like, yo, the lady gave us the key.
Yeah.
And then the lady just comes up like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny to think that it's like it's not really about the goal.
Yeah.
It's about the journey.
Facts.
And this like dumb shit like
Bro,
like
if I tell you, we've had so many crazy experiences with tours, events, like just even going on tour and not being able to afford the best hotel, like having to fucking go in motel rooms. Like actually, like going, like the first time we did the Orlando tour with Stally, X, and Ski, like, bro, we were all in like a motel. Like it was like literally like fucking 6 of us in a 2-bedroom motel. You know what I'm saying? And fucking Ski Master Slum Guy, he was just like showing us all of his music and showing us his numbers on SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was like, when it comes to just, it's about the journey, bro. Because it's like everybody that was in that room, they have gone off to do successful things and just be great. And I think, that's a testament to like just the journey and like the sacrifice.
It made me think because I had to sleep on the floor because my
Yeah.
boy wanted to fuck his girl in the bed. And he's like fucking her like while we're all
Yo, what
like,
the fuck? That boy a super gremlin, bro. Yo.
I know, and I was like, bro.
Yo, y'all, you real for that. You took one for the team. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah,
like,
right?
I've been in a position where it's like, we were all in like a hotel room, but my homie, he met a girl, and like I was the only one that like drove, and I was just like, man, fuck it, bro. Just take the keys, go in the car, do what you gotta do. Just don't fuck up my backseat.
Oh no, hell no, bro. One time I was going to one of the exit shows, right? I was just saying the story the other day. We were going to X show, and my boy was in the back, and he's getting his dick sucked by his girl. And we're all like, yo. And I'm like, oh shit, that's lit.
Yeah.
But then I realized this is my car.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, bro. So if you like nuts, that means that like, who's
Yo.
gonna clean that up, bro?
Bro, I feel you, bro.
I'm not
like, oh man, honestly, it was my best friend at the time, and like, you know, I like growing up, I had like really, really strict parents, so I couldn't bring any females to like my fucking crib, like vacation, like parents. So you know, he had like the cool mom, so you know, he would always just let me bring hoes, like
no way,
yeah, to his
I
crib,
That's
smash,
crazy.
and like yeah, I'll use his crib to like bring all my hoes there, and just be like, yeah, you know. My mom, she cool with you being here. Like, yeah. You know, you get lit in the basement.
It's
like,
funny because now people ask me to use my crib to fuck their girls, and I'm just like, I don't really want you to.
What the fuck? Like,
know,
yo,
right?
What the fuck?
It seems cool when you're younger, but then like
yeah,
now,
as you get older, yeah.
Yeah.
I would never let any of my homies fuck in my car now. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, you walk through that shit outside, it's like it's a no go, you know. But
No,
you know, being a teenager, it was hilarious. You know?
You don't even know.
Yeah, and you know, when you're young, you just trying to like catch a nut, bro. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You just like young, not giving a fuck.
You know who you remind me of?
Who's that?
You know Philip Hudson?
Nah, who's that?
He's on TikTok. He's like, got to see it through, my boy.
Oh shit, you got to see it through, my boy.
He has like the Skittles.
Oh nah, I'm
You never
not.
seen it?
I've heard the saying, "You got to see it through," but I'm trying to. I gotta see his face. You feel me?
No, I'm gonna show you.
Sure.
But you remind me just like I was like, who is he remind me?
No, well, I get so many fucking comparisons. Shit's hilarious.
Do you ever make TikToks?
I was just now got into it because everybody on my team been telling me like, yo, Eli, you got to make sure you have content. Like, I think last week, 2 weeks ago, I produced an event at the Frost Museum, and you know, like that whole week leading up to like planning the event, everybody on my team was like, oh shit, Eli, make sure you document this, like make sure you're recording this, make sure you're making TikToks, making sure you getting footage on Instagram, because it was like a big deal. So yeah, I've just been also with the events and the shows, I've just been getting used to making more TikToks and getting more involved with it. But I work with like a few different TikTok influencers. Well, I work with an agency that work with a few different TikTok influencers, so
I feel like you can be
familiar with it.
successful on TikTok.
Where I honestly gotta try it more. Like I'm gonna get back into it. I've been practicing. Liz be coaching me.
We'll write some skits.
Yeah, we could. Yo, let's do that, bro. Let's like, bro. I'm serious. We could do a 6 feet Eli Hawkins fucking, you know, interview. Go crazy, bro, and like create a whole segment, bro. I really want you to come by and check out our studio. It's in downtown Miami. And like we got.
Oh, that was farther.
Yeah, no, it's in 28. I'm not gonna say it on camera, but
yeah,
it's down. It's down. You know, it's in Miami, and yeah, bro. Like I feel like what you're doing, you know, you could bring that to. You can utilize basically the environment and the infrastructure we have, and I think you know we have the right infrastructure for everything that you're trying to do and all the future ideas that you want to do. So I think that would be cool as fuck.
No, definitely, bro. Because I'm like, you see how.
Yeah.
You know I need it.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, bro, I like to really like try to be a bridge and connect, you know, definitely different people that's within the underground to more place that's more established and that has, you know, really like the backing to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? Because infrastructure is so important. And I think, you know, infrastructure is the difference between this being a $1,000 podcast to being $1 million podcast. And so when you think about that, that's very important. So yeah, we could chop it up and we'll figure something out.
No, definitely. That's what I try to do. Like, because the thing is, I've always been afraid of like saying like, because I don't want to come off like I'm using people. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't want to really be like, hey, can you I'll interview you to get me to this person.
Yeah.
Like obviously I do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to come off as
Yeah.
that.
I think like, first off, setting your intentions is prior. Like you gotta, really have your intentions. But if you feel like you partnering up with someone or you utilizing something that someone has can benefit both of you guys, then it's a win for both parties. And I think that's how people should just try to approach like situations, not just thinking about how it's going to benefit themselves, but how is this going to benefit everybody that's involved.
Exactly. Like, there's a quote that goes, you enrich yourself by enriching others.
Yeah, I live by that quote. It was actually in a book. Some dude named Bill something. He made the book, and that's like a man can only get rich if he enriches others. And I think that's a quote that like I live by like through my whole entire career. Like I've have so many resources, like so many access to so many different things, and before making music and producing, I could have just been like, yo, fuck throwing events. Like, I'm going to throw events and I'm going to headline my own shows. Like, I'm going to do all that shit. But I was like, nah, like, I'm only going to win if I take this opportunity, take this platform that I have, and give it to other people to shine. Because that way, it makes more sense and it can continue to go on. So, really, that is so funny that you said that quote, and I love that. That's how we're ending the interview, because that's like one of the quotes that, like, there's times where I felt like giving up and like saying like, fuck, like this shit is so hard, like lost so much money. But I had to live by that quote to understand that, you can only get rich if you enrich others. And that's how life works. You got to help people to be a greater person. So that's so cool.
Exactly. Give me 5 things that you want to manifest by the end of the year.
By the end of the year?
Yeah.
I want to... First off, I want to manifest having like a platinum record. I really want to manifest having like a platinum record. I'm working with a lot of different artists in the studio, so I'm hoping we get a platinum record out of. Not hoping, we're gonna get a platinum record out of one of these artists. I'm manifesting that, speaking that shit to existence.
Like, I want to, because I want to say like, just say I'm gonna.
I'm going to.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's definitely coming. I'm going to get a platinum record. Secondly, I'm going to manifest changing somebody's life, like changing somebody's life this year, where it just doesn't only change their lives, but it changes their family lives as well.
Might have changed mine, because I have definitely a different mindset right now.
Shit, hopefully, third thing I want to manifest is, I really want to manifest. I don't know why, but like lately I've been seeing like so many different Range Rovers, and I feel like I'm gonna get a Range Rover before the year is over. I think that's gonna be my next car. So I want to manifest a Range Rover. And I would say I want to manifest a venue, but I'm already doing that. We're in the process of building our venue. Me and my family, we just purchased like 2 acres of land, Nomi Village. And and that's gonna be a creative space for all creatives in South Florida. We're going to put together a lot of festivals within the city of North Miami, and it's going to be something really, really big for the city and the tech community in Miami. So if I would have to, manifest something, I would just say success with Nomi Village. I'm a manifest it. It's happening, and just having Nomi Village be a staple for all creatives and all people. All creatives and anybody that has a vision in South Florida. That's what I want to manifest. I want, my venue to be that place for all creatives. And then I think I got like 2 more, and I just want to manifest good health for like me, my family, and manifest more wins and more bigger deals and putting my team in a position. I just want to keep closing more deals and putting my team in position. And that's it, and that's how I end this off.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I feel like, all right, I'll say it after, because I don't want to take too much.
That's all good.
Well, give me like one, like a line of advice, like not too long, but like what would you tell someone like starting out right now?
Like believe in your ideas you know, your ideas have powers, and don't be scared to reinvent yourself, and don't be scared to like actually believe in your vision. I know that sounds damn near cliche, but like the things that I've been able to accomplish, the things that I've been able to do, is literally like all a dream. Like everything that I'm doing now, everything that I've accomplished, it's all a dream. It's all believing in the idea, believing in the vision. And I think, you know, if you continue to believe in your vision, believing in your ideas, and really just see it through, and like have the confidence to do that, you're gonna always win. And put God first. Put God first. You can't do the shit without God, for real. Like
You got to see it through, my boy.
you got to see it through, my boy.
No,
You
you
got to
got-
see.
you
You got to see it through, my boy.
Oh, we should put that on the-
AG shit. New T-shirt. You know.
Who you want to shout out?
Man, shout out to the motherfucking gang. Shout out to Lizzie. Shout out to Dale. Shout out Mario. Shout out Dawg Saeed. Shout out EFX. Shout out to the Hype Firm. Shout out to the Product Radio Station. Shout out to Know Me Village. Shout out Eli Hawkins Sounds. Shout out all my artists that signed to my agency. It's too many to name, but shout out to all y'all. And shout out to anybody that's supporting me and that's been here from the jump and that's just believing the vision. I can't do this shit without y'all, so shout out to everybody.
Facts. And where can they find you at?
Instagram, e.hawkins. Twitter, Eli Hawkins with 2 S's. And Eli Hawkins on all music platforms.
For sure. So it's been 6 feet with the one and only
Eli motherfucking Hawkins. Gang. Y'all want to play some beats? I know it's